All right, I'm going to give you a quick lesson on how to do phonics lessons. With phonics, we usually start out with simple CVC words once they know most of their letter sounds. And so we're going to do what's called a chaining activity where you only change one sound at a time. Usually the first word that I start out with is cat. That is one that all of the kids know how to spell and sound out. They learn it very quickly and they feel confident starting the activity. So I'm going to say, okay, let's make cat. And they're going to go k, a, t. And it can take them a while to find the letter sounds and make the word and then blend it. And that is okay. The more practice we do, the better. So then they're going to say k, a, t, cat. It's important to notice that I have this arrow here. This is called the reading direction arrow, and we constantly have to remind the students that we always work in the reading direction. It's very important that we notice that and focus on it when they're working because that's training their brain to read correctly. Okay, now in a chaining activity, I'm only going to change one letter at a time. So I'm going to say, okay, let's change the k to b. Okay, so they're going to take away the k, they're going to put the b, and then they're going to sound it out. B, at, bat. All right, whenever they make a mistake, just gently say, oh, here, this is how we do it. We never tell them that they're wrong. We just say, oh, like sometimes they're having a hard time sounding it out, and they'll go b, at, and they can't blend it, and I'll go, okay, bat. And then we'll do, I'm not going to use my whole arm because you can't see it, but then we'll do a blending activity that is kinetic so that it helps it in their brain, and we'll go b, at, bat. Usually I use my whole arm. They know how to do this. All right, now I'm going to change the a to I. So a, I, b, it, bit. You will probably notice that your students have a little bit harder time changing vowel sounds. This is very normal. They usually know their a really well, and they usually know their a very well. The other ones, they start getting a little bit confused. Again, this is very normal. This is very developmental, and so we just keep practicing. Okay, bit, it, bit. Now let's change that t to a g. T, g. Ig, big. Okay, now let's go ahead and change I to a. I to a. Okay, b, a, g. B, a, g, bug. All right, now let's change that b to d. Okay, d, g, dug. Real quick, something else that you will see that is very, very common is the students have a really hard time telling the b and the d. They know their letters, they know their sounds, and they know it's one of those two, but they have a hard time remembering which one is which. And that is extremely normal for students that are struggling with phonics. What we do is we have a trick that we use, b, d, and that's going to help them. And I frequently have to do that over and over again during our lessons, b, d. Of course, I do it backwards when I'm working with them because I want them to see it in the correct order.